Life never stops moving, but there are moments when you feel stuck, unfinished plans, postponed dreams, and days passing by without clear meaning. We ask ourselves, how do we start over? How do we find direction amid the chaos of life? The truth is, you cannot change the past, but you have full control over your future. What matters is not how far you've strayed, but whether you're willing to pause, reflect on yourself, and reset your life. To do that, you need a wise mindset, a strong philosophical foundation that not only helps you redefine your path forward but also ensures resilience in every step you take. The journey of resetting your life is not just about setting new goals or changing a few habits. It is an inner revolution, a complete restructuring of how you think, act, and understand the essence of life. This article will not only help you break free from old patterns but also provide you with core principles to live a life of purpose, strength, and meaning. Get ready to explore. 1. Letting go of past burdens, freeing your mind to move forward. We often believe that in order to move forward, we simply need to set new goals, acquire new skills, or change our habits. But what if none of these efforts seem to work? What if you keep finding yourself back at square one, held back by invisible yet heavy burdens? The truth is, real change cannot happen if your mind remains shackled by the weight of the past. Let's examine human nature. We are creatures of memory. Our ability to remember helps us learn and evolve, but it also binds us to our failures, traumas, and regrets. Society teaches us that we must remember the past to avoid repeating mistakes. Yet, the paradox is this: by clinging to the past, we trap ourselves within it. The more you try to fix what has already happened, the more you drown in the endless loop of old pain. A simple example. Imagine a person who has failed in business. Instead of learning and moving on, he spends years analyzing his mistakes, blaming himself, and dwelling in self-reproach. He doesn't realize that he has turned his failure into a prison of his own making. As his mind remains submerged in those memories, no matter how much he tries, he keeps repeating the same pattern: fear, self-doubt, and ultimately, another failure. Letting go of the past does not mean forgetting or denying it. It is a conscious action, a deliberate choice to prevent past experiences from controlling the present. But how do we truly let go? First, understand this. Memory is not absolute truth. Every past experience is stored with distortions influenced by our emotions at the time. An event that once seemed unbearable may not be as tragic when viewed from a different perspective. In fact, it may have offered valuable lessons. The issue is not what happened, but the meaning we assign to it. Epictetus once said, "It is not events that disturb us, but our interpretation of those events." This means that if you want to free yourself from the past, you must first change how you perceive it. No one can turn back time to undo mistakes, but you can change your attitude toward them. Try this simple exercise. Write down the things from your past that still weigh heavily on you. Then, instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" ask yourself, "What did this experience teach me?" Shifting from a victim mindset to that of a learner will instantly free you from invisible chains. Another crucial aspect of letting go is stopping the attempt to control what cannot be changed. Humans have a tendency to fight reality, believing that if we dwell on a mistake long enough, it will somehow disappear. But this is a futile battle. You can control your actions, but you cannot change what has already happened. True freedom comes when you learn to accept reality as it is. Consider this thought-provoking image. You are swimming in the ocean, but in your hands, you are clutching heavy stones, regrets, mistakes, unfulfilled expectations. The harder you hold on, the more you sink. Only when you find the courage to let go can you rise to the surface. Breathe freely and move forward. Letting go of the past is not a one-time act but an ongoing process. Every day, you must remind yourself that what has already happened no longer has power over you, unless you allow it to. Remember the words of Marcus Aurelius: "You have the power to renew yourself at any moment." And the best moment to do that is right now. 2. Redefining yourself. Who do you want to become? One of the greatest paradoxes of human nature is that we crave change, yet fear facing it. Look around. How many people long for a new life, yet hesitate to step out of their comfort zones? The truth is, most people are not stuck because of their circumstances, but because they continue to cling to an outdated version of themselves. Ask yourself a simple question. If you were no longer bound by your past, who would you be? Most of us struggle to answer this immediately because, for years, we have identified ourselves with our mistakes, failures, and fears. But you are not your past. You are what you choose to become from this moment forward. Many people resist change not because they cannot change, but because they are afraid to let go of their old identity. They fear that if they are no longer a failure, a shy person, or someone who isn't good enough, they won't know who they are anymore. This is what makes transformation so difficult. It demands not just behavioral adjustments but a complete redefinition of the self. So how do you truly redefine yourself? First, become aware of the stories you tell yourself. We all carry limiting beliefs, those silent voices in our minds saying, "I'm not good at communicating. I'm not cut out for business." Or, "I'm not strong enough to change." But ask yourself, are these absolute truths? Or are they just reflections of past experiences? The next step is to define the version of yourself that you want to become. There's no need to dream of an overnight transformation. Instead, simply visualize who you would be a year from now if you lived according to the values that truly matter to you. Write it down. Clarify every aspect, from your thoughts and actions to how you would handle challenges. Finally, start acting today as if you are already that person. You don't have to wait to become more confident, disciplined, or strong. Begin now, with small but consistent actions. Because the truth is, you are not searching for yourself, you are creating yourself. 3. Letting go of external expectations. Living by your own values. Most people are caught in an invisible race, one they never consciously chose to enter. They spend their entire lives chasing societal standards, only to one day realize that their achievements do not bring them true happiness. This stems from a simple yet uncomfortable truth. Most of what we desire does not originate from within us but is imposed by others. We grow up following predetermined templates, excel in school to secure a stable job, get married at the right age, buy a house, have children. All of these milestones are ingrained as measures of a successful life. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, is this truly what I want? Or am I merely following a script written by society? Seneca once said, "You will never find peace if you worry about what others think of you." True freedom is not about doing everything you want, it is about not being controlled by the expectations of others. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, what truly matters to me? What makes me feel alive, fulfilled, and in harmony with myself? If your answers differ from what society expects, then perhaps it is time to break free from the cycle and start living life on your own terms. 4. Building a personal code of principles, the compass that guides your life. A person without principles is like a ship drifting aimlessly in the vast ocean, carried away by every wave without knowing where it is headed. In contrast, a solid system of personal principles serves as a compass, helping you navigate life's uncertainties without losing direction. Look at the most steadfast and successful individuals, whether ancient philosophers like Marcus Aurelius or great leaders of the modern world. They are not people who blindly conform to societal norms. Instead, they have built a clear and unwavering system of personal values, which they adhere to at all costs. This gives them resilience against public opinion, temptations, and immediate challenges. So, how do you establish an effective personal code of principles? 1. Identify your core values. What matters most to you? Integrity, perseverance, intellectual freedom, or discipline? Knowing your values allows you to make the right decisions when facing difficulties. 2. Set unwavering rules. A strong principle is not something that changes based on circumstances. If you decide that you will never compromise on honesty, then even in the toughest situations, you must hold firm to that belief. 3. Practice your principles daily. Principles hold no real value if they exist only on paper. You must apply them in your daily life, from the smallest choices to the most critical life decisions. 4. Review and adjust when necessary. Society evolves. Circumstances shift, and sometimes you yourself change. A personal system of principles is not about being rigid but about being firm yet adaptable when needed. Ultimately, A personal code of principles not only provides direction but also serves as a safeguard against temptations, regrets, and poor decisions. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If you do not have principles to live by, you will become a slave to others." And the most terrifying thing is not failure. It is reaching the end of your life and realizing that you never truly lived with purpose. 5. Take action now. Turn philosophy into reality. Knowledge holds no value if it is not put into practice. A life philosophy is not just a collection of beautiful ideas to display on a bookshelf. It is a tool to shape our actions and transform the way we respond to life. But why do people often hesitate to take action, even when they fully understand what is right? The first reason is fear of failure. We worry that if we start, we may not achieve the desired results. But the truth is, inaction is the greatest failure of all. By doing nothing, you are choosing to stay exactly where you are. Stoicism reminds us that failure itself is not the problem. What matters is how we respond to it. If you fail but learn something valuable from the experience, then it is not a failure at all, it is a step forward. Another reason people delay action is that they are always waiting for the perfect moment. But in reality, there is no better time than now. If you keep waiting for ideal circumstances, you will never begin. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Stop debating what makes a good life. Just live it." Every plan, every idea is meaningless if you do not take the first step. Taking action does not mean rushing into impulsive decisions without thought. It is a balance between wisdom and persistence. You don't need to change your entire life overnight. Start with small but consistent actions. If you want to be more disciplined, begin by waking up on time each morning. If you want to shift your mindset, start by reading one page of a philosophy book each day. A life philosophy is not meant to be read, it is meant to be lived. Without action, philosophy becomes a luxury, a mere intellectual pastime. But when applied to everyday life, it becomes an endless source of strength that allows you to live with meaning, power, and without regret. Seneca once said, "We often complain that life is too short. But the truth is, we waste too much time." If there is one thing you can do right now to change your life, it is to start. There is no better time than now to take action. If you are seeking enlightenment and want to dive deeper into philosophy, psychology, and personal growth, join Practical Philosophy today. Click here to subscribe and explore ideas that will help you master your life. Now, the question for you is, are you ready to begin this journey? The journey to reset your life is not a path filled with roses. The journey to resetting your life is not an easy one. It requires courage to face the truth, perseverance to overcome challenges, and, most importantly, a wise mind that remains unshaken by external influences. You don't need to change your entire life overnight. What truly matters is whether you are willing to take small but steady steps every day. If you want to become more disciplined, start by taking small actions that reflect that discipline. If you seek inner peace, learn to control your reactions to life's uncertainties. Life never stops moving, and change does not wait for anyone. You must be the one to take charge. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Your life is what your thoughts make it." You can continue living the same way as before, or you can choose to reinvent yourself starting right now. Remember, great things don't come from waiting, they come from action. If you are seeking enlightenment and want to explore philosophy, psychology, and personal growth on a deeper level, join Practical Philosophy today. Click here to subscribe and discover insights that will help you master your life. Now, the question for you is, are you ready to start this journey?